The old man came up the road at the pace of a man with nowhere in particular to be. They stood on the rise and watched him climb toward them, and none of the three of them moved. It took him 20 minutes. He did not hurry once. When he was close enough to read, Kael stopped breathing. The face under the white hair was a face he shaved every morning. Older by a lifetime, softened by weather and by kindness, with no scar on it at all. But it was the same face. The old man looked at the three of them for a while. He did not ask who they were. He said he had been expecting somebody for about 11 days, that he had no idea who, and that they all looked cold, and then he asked them in. The house sat at the end of a lane behind the bakery. Small, warm, low ceilings. He filled a kettle and put 4 cups on the table without counting them, and he made tea for the man in the hazard suit exactly as carefully as he made it for anybody else. He told them he had woken 11 days ago knowing he had to go north. Not a voice, not a dream. Just the certainty a man gets about rain. He had been walking ever since, and this morning it had let go of him. So he had turned round. He said his name was Tam. He said nobody had given it to him, that he had simply had it, the way he had simply had hands. He had mended shoes in that town for 61 years. People still brought him boots he had sold twice already. Then he said the thing. He said he had to apologize because he was going to sound mad. But he had the same dream every night of his life. Cold water, dark, an amber light that never changed brightness, and a slow tap somewhere behind his head that never once missed. Kael put his cup down so carefully that it made no sound at all. That was not a dream. That was the inside of the tank. That was the pump above his left shoulder, ticking at 9-second intervals, in the dark, for 91 years. 16 spoke without looking up. He said the split had never been fair. One entry had gone into a house and a trade and 61 years of boots. The other had gone into storage. Somebody had to hold the 91 years of nothing, and both of them had. And then the old man apologized, not for the dream, for the life. He said that if he had known somebody was in the dark for the whole of it, he would not have enjoyed the mornings quite so much. That was the thing that took the legs out from under Kael. Goku asked whether it could be undone. 16 said they had it wrong. They were not 2 copies of one man sitting in a kitchen. They were one entry that had been cut in half 91 years ago, and the 2 halves had started closing. It showed while they sat there. Kael went for a word, an ordinary one, and lost it, and stopped. And across the table the old man said the word for him, quietly, without thinking about it, and then looked at his own mouth as if it had gone off somewhere on its own. A minute later, the old man could not remember the name of the lane he had lived on for 6 decades. He laughed about it. He said it happens at his age. Nobody in that kitchen laughed with him, and he noticed that. And he stopped. He said one more thing before they left the table. He said he had always laid out 2 cups. Every morning, for 60 years, without knowing why, and he had never once been able to explain it to anybody who asked. He had simply always known there was somebody else. Kael said his own name out loud because it was the one word he could still reach for and find. And across the table, the old man said it at exactly the same moment, in exactly the same voice, and neither of them had meant to say anything at all.